bar and it was on Wi-Fi.
Woo. um, hello. Did the screen just go black? I'm not sure what happened, or if you could hear me in panicking. Um, I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi here. Supposedly, I'm plugged in to Ethernet, but I don't know. So, hello everyone. Welcome. It's Techie Tuesday. Um, no, it's not Techie Tuesday. I mean, it is Tuesday. And I'm blurry. Hmm. Hi, Sherry. Welcome. Um, so I ended up my hair's still wet. I was walking and doing tech support to Trish in Canada. Um, so just so you know, today's Tuesday, so sometimes Microsoft and other things put out patches. So if your computer is a little sluggish today, don't panic and bring it to the computer store for a fix. Just let it do its updates and all kinds of stuff. Can everyone hear me okay? I think Carol may be muted. So anyway, yeah, if you are experiencing computer issues, it might just be an update. Um, I'm cutting in and out. Well, now it looks like I have a good a good connection, and I'm hardwire. So hopefully it's not on my end. Okay, well, good. The good news is you don't really have to listen to me when we make our cards, right? You're just gonna watch my hands. So, hopefully okay, we're Faith, so hopefully I'm not anymore. We've got some new people on here tonight making cards. It's very exciting, and we will have an in the feed drawing tonight at the end of our cards. So make sure you like and make sure you comment. All you have to do is say hi to be entered into the drawing. Just say hey. You can put where you're joining from, and we're gonna have a great time tonight making these cards. So I'm gonna do some quick little announcements. We got some fun stuff. I get a full calendar, and and as you all know, and sometimes I look at my calendar and I'm like, whew, how's it gonna get all done? But here we are, January 31st. Hard to believe, the last day of January already. And so the year's already going by quick. All right, so like I said, we will have an in the feed drawing tonight. So you just have to be in to win, online to win. And you have to be present. So I'll pause and wait for you to say, like, I'm here to claim your prize, which will be $10 off your next order. Now, I am meeting with people one-on-one about the Creative Memories Advisor opportunity. So if you are interested in meeting with me to hear about, um, Creative Memories business opportunity, maybe you need a side hustle in 2023, I would be happy to meet with you on Zoom or in person for coffee. And that little woven scallop border maker cartridge that I'm sitting on, it isn't available on the website. So it's only available to advisors. And so this is what I'm offering for people that meet with me to get information. You can get this woven scallop BMC for just $9.75 instead of $19.50. So that is a great deal. Secret boxes. It is that time again. So first secret box of 2023. Oh, and my little thing is, my overlay is kind of covering that up. But if you purchase it from me through my website, my Octopus Digital website. So if you go to DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.com, That'll bring you right to my calendar, and you'll wanna purchase this box, you get all free shipping, and then you also get an invitation to the super secret box opening, which is this Sunday morning at, Deb, on Sunday morning, at 8 AM in my hotel room at Volano Beach. And the reason I'm doing that a week earlier is so many of you that have purchased secret boxes are going to be at the retreat. So it's kind of fun for us to open it together. Otherwise, um, and if you don't want to open it early, you don't have to. You can wait till the 11th. And so the 11th is the the 10th, Friday the 10th. The first day of the Creative Memories virtual crop is when the rest of the world will open them. But then if you purchase the box from me, you'll also get an invite to a Zoom crop on Saturday morning from 10 to 1. I made it a little later so people in different time zones don't have to get up in the dark to join us over here on the East Coast. So it is from 10 to 1, and that is Saturday the 11th. I have a God Moments book study starting up February 13th. It's mostly Mondays, a couple Thursdays. All the sessions will be recorded. This is a book. It's an older book. I've done this study before, but not with a workbook. So I created a workbook to go along with it, and you will actually learn about the 5 different types of God moments, and it's based on five Jewish feasts, and it's an amazing book. It will really change the way you look at things in life, that's for sure. So, important thing about God moments is the documentation of it, and that's where the scrapbooking comes in. You can scrapbook your God moments and start a scrapbook album, but you don't have to. You can just put it in a journal, and that's part of there's a few suggestions in the book about how to preserve them. So if you're interested in that, and if you already have the book, if you're on here and you've already done the study with me, you can there's an option to sign up without the book, and you'll just get the workbook and the other fun stuff that will be shipping out next Monday. And yes, Ruth, I do have another secret box. I can set one aside for you for the retreat if you would like. All right, next up, Project Recipes next Tuesday night at 7. So join me for that. I did switch things up on my website because it seemed like people just had a hard time, like you had to click like see more and the link was there. So now when you RSVP through my website for Project Recipe, you'll in your confirmation email, you will get a link to the PDF that you'll just copy and paste into your browser, and then you can download the PDF. All right. All you have to do is sign up for that and it'll automatically come to you. So that is next Tuesday night. And then this is fun. Um, so there'll be a PH class at Cherry Hill Ice Cream Cafe. It's just $10. You'll make a scrapbook page. You will also get to choose water, coffee, or ice cream. Um, and you get to pick a gift. And gifts are the new simple sleeve from Creative Memories, or the new all-purpose scissors. Not new, I'm sorry. The very old, awesome scissors that many of us that have been around for a while. I have probably 6 pairs floating around my house at any given time. So you can have another pair of scissors, just like the way old classes used to be. Um, or you can pick a new simple sleeve, and then you also get to make a page and, like I said, choose water, um, coffee, or ice cream. So you don't have to have ice cream, but if you want ice cream, you can have ice cream, and it's on me. So that's gonna be fun. So you do have to sign up for that, and you do have to pre-register the $10 in order to attend, and the registration closes at 9 the night before, so I have, enough time, like that night, to get ready for whoever, wants to come. Yes, Stacy loves Cherry Hill. They're very sweet over there. All right, so March, St. Simon's is coming up. Now, St. Simon's is full, waiting list starting. It's going to be a wild and groovy time. Those of you going, 2 emails went out. An invoice went out last night, and it's not due till February 8th, but just heads up, look for that. And then an email with details and stuff went out this morning at 6:45. So look for those. And then if you didn't know, or if you're not watching it right now, I have a YouTube channel. It's Daytona Area Scrapbooking. So all these videos also go over there. And sometimes it's easier to find a card class, like if you're doing one from a couple months ago, it's easier to go find it on my YouTube page because you can go to the card class playlist, and then you can look for the month that you're looking for because, Facebook has so many posts on my page that sometimes it's hard to find. All right, so one last reminder, if you haven't commented, said hi already, you wanna like this, you wanna like this video that's going on right now, and you wanna comment. So just say hi um, or put an emoji, just anything, get entered. You're leaving, Ruth? Don't leave. I know you're gonna do your kit later, you told me, but, thanks for stopping in. All right. So now it's time to uh, get down to business. Hopefully I'm not fuzzy. All right, so you've got your card kit that looks like this. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, we are going to work in the order that they are packed. And I have the tools that I used out here just to show. These are the tools that I used to make these cards from Creative Memories. They are still available. This one just came out in January. This one's been out for a while. This one came out in December. So they're all still available. They're all really great punches. All right, so this is how we're going to work. We're just going to work from the top down. So our first, this is the Baroque border punch. That's what I used to make this. And so this is the first card we're going to make. Oh, I did want to say I inked some of the things for you. Not everything is inked. If you like Tim Holtz Distress ink and you already own some, you might already have the antique linen. It's a very popular one. So if you want to add some ink to your cards, you don't need my permission to do that. All right, so this is what you should have in front of you. You should have the pieces that you'll need for this card, plus 3 little strips of pearls. Now they are already they do already have adhesive on them, but they're small, so be careful with them. And like on this one, we're just going to use 3 of the larger ones. That's it. So I suggest either you make all your cards and then go back and put all your pearls on accordingly, or well, welcome, Barbara. I just see you said you're new. Welcome. So yeah, sometimes you can get overzealous with the bling in the kits, and then when we get to the end, you don't have any of the bling. So you can either just wait till the end and then kind of divvy it out, or do it as you go along. Now, this piece, your background piece, is your base. Now I'm losing words. Your base is already scored at the proper place, so don't panic that these don't line up. It will work out, I promise. This piece is going to attach underneath. Now, this paper is double dipped, 2-sided, so you do have choices. You can play around with what you like. So you'll see you have this larger strip, and then this one goes on top like a little ribbon, but you could do it the reverse way too. So you've got some options there. The first thing we're going to do is attach this piece here. Now, you can go all the way down to the edge, or you can leave a little bit of white. So I'm going to leave just a little bit of white so that there's like a border all the way around. And so I'm just going to put my adhesive right on these, on the meaty part of this Baroque design. And so I'm going to come in here right into these little sections and add. Now be careful, don't go too crazy because you don't want to put adhesive where you don't have paper. Okay? It's going to go right basically like to the edge here. It's going to just cover these holes. So don't like put your adhesive way down low. You want to put enough, just don't go beyond the cutouts. Hopefully that makes sense. And I need to watch. I love, it's always great when I'm working off screen here for you. Okay. So once you've got your adhesive on there, then I'm going to position my paper to where how I want it to look. And then I'm going to close it so that, and because I didn't go with my adhesive beyond where the holes were from the punch, then it's nice and stuck on there, and I don't have too much adhesive on. Now this piece, don't let it freak you out, is going to be too big, and that is by design because, as much as I try to make these exact, they're going to be slightly shifted on everyone's. So I cut this to 6 inches and had to stagger where I punched it, so that you could adjust it so that it was right in the middle. So it might be, a little bit further over or a little bit this way, but you should have enough wiggle room that you can position it in the right place. So once you get it in the right place, then you can either take your mini, your personal trimmer or just your pair of scissors and go ahead and trim off. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, before I stick that down, I'm going to match this up, and that should be just fine. Now this little edge that I left around, I'm going to do the same thing on the top. I'm going to leave a little edge so that it matches. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that first. I'm just using the regular Creative Memories tape runner for that. And so now when I add this, and it's okay if there's a gap, because remember, we're going to put this little piece on. So now I can add that. And again, you have some options with the turning of the paper. Just do know that it is reversible. Sometimes you get adhesive on the wrong side, not realizing that it's reversible. All right, so once that goes on, I can turn this over and just using my scissors. This is one of the things that you can choose for free if you come to the page class, your gift. And then we'll stick this on over here. Sometimes it's hard to get in there. If you have the personal trimmer, you might even want to just go down that way. I'm so crooked. Thankfully, the people we send this to get so excited about getting a homemade card. That it's all right. That it might be a little not perfect. All right. Then we're going to add that piece on, and then we're going to tuck the thinking of you. Not really tuck it under, but just kind of, I kind of just butted it up next to this little ribbon. Like Stacy, yes, I know she is. No, Faith. So, it's for anyone, because I want people to experience. It is the page class that I was going to teach for the beginners, but it's one of those things that I just feel like the more people that get to experience it, then they might want, to invite a friend. So we'll see how it works out at Cherry Hill and how everyone likes that. And we might try to move them around and try other locations. Or of course, just like old school, if people wanted to host something in their home for their friends, they could do that too. So, all right, Stacy will be there. Now everyone will be there. So now I'm just going to put 3 of these, and I'm using the largest of the pearls here. And I'm just going to put 3 over there. And then that card is done. So you can see I did the inking there on that one. And so if you had the ink, you might want to ink the edges of it and add some more ink. Whoops. But that is done. I'll pause for a second. Y'all can chime in the chat. Oh, thanks, Stacy, for sharing that. And when you're done, you can just put in the chat that you're done, and then we'll get ready to start this little hi card. I do need my little trimmer. Okay. Look at you guys. All done. I need to grab my trimmer. Hold, please. Now, you could do this just fine with your scissors, but if you have a little personal trimmer handy, it does make it a bit easier. And what I'm talking about is we're going to chop off this edge. So if you're a firm subscriber to the done is better than perfect, then you will do just fine with these scissors. If you're more of a perfectionist, you might want to grab a trimmer. Or you could fold it. That would work too if you don't have a trimmer. So we're just going to fold this base, and we've got the background and we've got this. Now nothing is popped up, and careful, this little high, mine looks like it's broken, but it's not. So you could fold your circle, and this is a situation where I did chalk my sample one, but I didn't chalk your base. But I did chalk your circle for you with the distress ink. So we're going to go ahead and attach our base, and you can try it out with different combinations. I don't know how I feel about that, but that could work. So it's whatever, it's your card. Have a ball. And we'll center this one. And now it's time to add our high. So before I cut it, I'm gonna kind of play with it on where I want to put it. Like I've got about an inch of space over here on my sample, so not really cutting off that much of this of the circle. So you can kind of play around. You could leave the whole thing on if you want. You could center it that way. So I'm just gonna trim off a little bit. Like I said, you could, you could fold it around the around this gingham paper, or you could use your scissors, or if you have a trimmer handy, you could do that. So I'm just going to center it like this. Stick that down. And then we've got our little Adirondack chairs. Now I designed it. I realized they're kind of facing away from each other, but maybe they should be facing toward each other. So it's like a little conversation instead of like, maybe they're looking out at the lake though. So maybe so you can decide how you want that. I would say you're probably going to want to stick to the brown side. So once you decide how you're going to do that, then you're going to put your high. You got your background for the high on there. And then you've got your white. Mine is a little mangled there. You're gonna want to use either repositionable tape, that'll be tricky, or the precision point adhesive to attach the white high. Now you could do it with a regular tape because you can just use one little doodad, but it'll be much easier with the precision point adhesive, or like I said, with the repositionable tape. Now the repositionable tape comes off in like little squares, and it really just sticks to the paper. So you can kind of just run it across the whole thing, and then it'll just be on the paper. But the precision point adhesive, whoops, is definitely my go-to for things like this. It's just, and I find they last forever. But I know some of you that you do a lot of Cricut stuff. You go through it a lot. See, you could do it with the regular tape runner just by, putting those on. We got your high. It's for your friend. Maybe you haven't seen in a while. And then the chairs, same thing. You could definitely, and if you're just going to use your tape runner, you want to put it so that the next little strip is right on the tip, and then just kind of dab it, kind of go right to the tip, and then dab it. And so now I've got four pieces of the adhesive on there. So you wouldn't have to do it with the precision point adhesive. However, it does make life a lot easier. So I'm going to face them toward each other on this card. These are the things that keep me up at night. Like, oh, they're facing away. And this was a punch, a Creative Memories punch that was part of it was part of a promo. And so unfortunately that was not a punch that was ever for sale. It was part of a promo. So then what I did is I took 4 of the medium-sized ones and just kind of put them in the corner as if they were fastened, like brads. but of course they're not. They're little pearl stickers. Katie loves pearls. I don't know if Katie's on here tonight. So I thought of her when I was designing this. And we've got our second one done. Now I played with this. Now I need to add a little adhesive there. There's your second one. I'll leave that one up there. And then again, when you guys are done, give me a shout in the chat. And we won't be making this tonight. This was from Tool Time, but I did want to show you because that was kind of I knew when I did use this Border Maker cartridge on my Tool Time with Sarah in January that I had to work it into a card design. And sometimes that's really hard for me when I'm designing, when I know ahead of time, oh, I really want to use this tool. Because then you kind of have to back into a design and back into a card. So I showed how to make this on Tool Time. I think it was on Tool Time, yeah. And it was with this new Border Maker cartridge that came out in December as part of the Silver and Gold collection. And I just love it because I love how, of course, it's great just by itself, but then when you kind of weave it around each other, you get this whole other look. So that is our next card. So we're going to just pull off this next piece and fold our base. And this is landscape orientation. Now, I'd have to look up to see what kind of ink that was if you wanted to know. But you've got your base, so we can go ahead and put our background. We can go ahead and attach our background. Both sides are kind of similar. One may be a little darker. Should be a little darker. Looks a little washed out under this light right now. So this piece is just going to come up. We might need to trim off some off the bottom. We'll wait and see. Now this is the same paper. So you can decide if you want the darker ribbon and then the the printed swirls. But what basically what you're going to do is kind of wrap this so that you are going to put one section in front and then one section behind, like this. And I did it the same way. I did it the same. Sorry to kick someone out of the chat there. None of you is spam. So you're gonna weave every other. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I cut it 6 inches so you have so that you can position it just right, the same way as the other one. So that you can slide it back and forth and get it so that it's the right way. Hopefully that makes sense. Yep, that's right. And then once you get it in the right position, you'll you really don't have to add adhesive if you don't want to this to keep it on here. What you can do is once you get it right in the right position, you can just add a bunch of adhesive to the back, and that way it'll keep everything in the right place. You can also take, you know, you can so that's one way, that's the other way. You can also take it off and add your adhesive to it, and that way when you do your wrap of it, then they'll just stick to it. So, that's another problem when I decide ahead of time, like, what tool that I just have to use, that I'm just dying to play with is, sometimes I make a lot of work for myself. So these designs with the whole offset, because there's a couple, that's kind of the theme, I think, of this card class. So once you've got it on there, then you can use your scissors or use your trimmer to just trim off that excess. And then attach it to your card. And you might need to add some more adhesive because you covered some of it, right? And then so I'm not gonna press it down right now, it's just kind of on there lightly because I'm gonna kinda tuck in this birthday wishes here, and I do need to cut off some of the bottom. Now, it doesn't have to be straight because 'cause you're not gonna see it, and in fact, I didn't even ink all the way around. Oh, that's the only problem. And now I have to, like, put it on crooked so that birthday wishes is flat. And maybe I'll move it over a little bit so that the tail of that Y is, lines up. And then, this is the fun part, so then you can put the little pearls, um, on these little pieces. So, um, you could vary the size if you want. Let me see, what else do we have? I used big ones on this last card, so you might wanna save the big ones for that. Um, so I think I'm gonna use just the little ones on this one. They're so delicate. I could probably sneak one right over here on the edge. And like because I didn't attach them to the front, like this is kind of flying away. So I am gonna add a little tape there. And stick that down. And then that's done. Maybe I'll add another one while we're waiting for everyone to finish. And that's number 3. Now I love this next one. I'll wait for y'all to finish. So if you're finished, you can poke these out. Now I didn't poke them out ahead of time because not everyone does, and then it kinda slows me down because sometimes I get a little fast. So you can poke these out. Be careful. They should poke out, um, you know, ever since I exploded my big shot, I've had to go to the Gemini which is much more dependable when it comes to very intricate dies, I find. And I did give this just a little bit of distress ink. I didn't go too heavy because it's such a pretty heart. And those of you that have been doing cards with me know that, like, for my card kits, I don't ever do, like, a Valentine's card kit, but I thought since Valentine's Day is coming, that maybe we could all find use for this one "I love you" card. Could be for someone in your life, a friend or a child or a spouse. And so if you haven't now, there's all kinds of tools, and I own many of them to help with this. But you can also just use your fingers like I'm doing. Sometimes there's like mine had 2 layers. That's because with the Gemini, it'll cut through 2. So if you seem like you have more um, pieces than are expected, that is why. All right, so we've got this heart here, and let me talk you through this. So we'll go ahead and fold our base. That's easy. It's the second to last card here. Now, hopefully I punched these. I punched them because this is where the Adirondack chairs came out of, so that you could kind of tilt it that way. If you don't want to, you can still do it straight, and those chairs should be covered. But if you want to give it a little tilt, they should be punched in the right way so that you can get a tilt, a little angle going on. So we're going to go ahead and put down my background. And if you wanted to go with the stripes, of course you could. But this heart is so beautiful and delicate. I just love the way it looked on this. And that's why I kind of went light with the ink, because I really just wanted to keep that contrast between the white heart. And so now with this, again, you've got these large flowers in here that you can use your tape runner. Then you could also come in here with some of these smaller leaves and add some precision point adhesive. And go ahead and stick that down. Now, up to you if you want to have it straight on and centered, or if you want to follow, the angle of the paper and go that way. Now I've got I put the "I love you" down here. Now my sample is kind of going over this way. So again, you could follow the paper and go at an angle, or if your heart is straight, you could go with that. Now you have 2 of these pieces, and I just kind of cut them to add to the edges there. So you can use your scissors for that. And with the "I love you," I just kind of went up to it. Now I did go behind it. I've got some. I did go behind it with this side. So that is a little, you can kind of freestyle it and make it your own. just going to cut. And the same thing with this, you can just go right to that edge. Or you can use your precision point adhesive. And go with this one. And I already put it down, so now I'm going to go under here. Let's add some adhesive, Tara. And if you have any dimensionals and you want to, or foam squares, and you want to pop this I love you up, you could do that. Just going to chop that off. And then I can use this little piece that just went flying off over here on this side. Here I am off the screen again. Gotta watch me. They're all saying, we're trying. You're working off the screen. All right, and then I just need one more little piece over here, and then for the fun, and by the fun I mean adding a different size of the bling. How far out do I want to go? Think about that far. All right. So once you have those in there, you can add back. You can add in your pearls. Now I did vary the sizes. Let me look back over here. So I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the largest ones on the next card. So maybe save 5 of the larger ones, and that would leave you 2. And so I'm going to put those in the biggest flowers. And then I can just use what's over here. There's some medium flowers. Tracy hates gemstones and stuff that already have the adhesive on them. So I thought of Katie and Tracy while I was designing this card, thinking, oh, and then I'm going to put these little baby ones. I just love this card. When I was packing up the card kits, I thought I had everything done, and I forget what night it was. And I said to my husband, okay, I think everything's ready. I'll sit out here. We can watch something while I assemble these card kits. And then I said, oh no, I forgot the hearts. And if you own a Gemini, then you know it's really hard to do anything in the same room with a Gemini because it is loud. So I had to excuse myself to go cut the little hearts. So that's cute. This would be fun. This will be fun to give someone. My mom will be here for Valentine's Day. I could also send it to my daughter. Or my son might, if I see him, he might steal it to give to his fiance. He definitely shops my cards when he needs a card. And you've got your envelopes. Don't lose track of them. I guess I can move birthday wishes out here. And we're almost on to the last card. We're doing good. Just about 10 till 8. Just give me a shout when you're done putting the pearls on. And then we will move on to the card that I use this new one on. Again, these ones I get so excited because whenever I show them on Tool Time, I say, oh, some of these punches are just made for bling. Like I just couldn't wait to you know, to use them on a card. Yeah, Casey. So this border punch came out in December as well. I think I said January before, but it came out the same time as this one did. And that was December. So we're just going to fold our base. Easy peasy. This is what the card is going to look like. So again, this has room for you to find the center. So I went, larger so that you could do that. So go ahead and put your background on. Well, I'm glad you found it, Ruth. I couldn't find my adhesive right before the live, and then I remembered that they were in a bag in the dining room. All right, so this is going to layer right on top, right to the, right to the either the edge of your background paper or all the way to the edge of the background paper or to the edge of the card. Okay. And if at all, if you ever feel like you're behind, that's the great thing about these card classes too. I try to go slow to keep everybody together for those that are making, along with everybody else. But you can always go back and then fast forward. Once it's not live, you can't pause the live, but once it's not live, you can go back. All right. So, I've done steered you wrong. As soon as I looked at it, all right. If you already attached that, pick it back up because you're gonna want to place this one on first. And how you want to do it is, you can see here. Let me bring it up close. So these little peaks poke right out in between the white. So go ahead and put your adhesive on the back of the dark brown and position that where you want it first. And again, I gave you some wiggle room so that you can shift it back and forth. Now you'll want to put it to the edge. And you can either go up to extend to the edge of the card, in which case it'll overhang a little bit, which is what I'm going to do. Or you can trim it with your trimmer so that it's even with the background paper. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. So before you stick the white, get the two layered the right way, and so and then stick it down. And now it should be smooth sailing. Although, okay, Just kidding. I gave you options and I went that way, but we are going to need to trim down to the background. So, never fails. Excuse me. Sorry. Those of you that might be just finishing up the last card, you've saved yourself. Just be careful when you're taking these apart. And I do apologize for that. Oh, now I'm stuck to this one. Okay. So the reason for all that is this ribbon is the size of your background piece. So that'll look a little funny, just kind of floating there if we don't trim it up. So we're going to stick it to our background and then we're going to trim it to that size. And the easiest way to do that is to flip it over and then use your scissors or use your trimmer. It's a little tricky with your trimmer if you already have your adhesive on there, but it can be done. Just lift up the little guide to get it through there. And then it'll be nice and square. All right, sorry about that. And then now we should be, that's great. And then we'll, this one, kind of see how it kind of fits in this little hole there. So I'm just going to trim off a little bit. I'm going to stick down this ribbon first. Now this one, cheers to you on this special day. I figured that could be, especially with how ornate it is, maybe it could be for a wedding or an anniversary or a birthday. It could be for a milestone birthday. And I am just going to, now, you want to make sure it's level if you're doing this. And I probably could cut off just a smidge more. There. And then we can add that. And then it's time to add our pearls. Now you've got the 5 big ones. You should have the 5 big ones left. But if you don't, you can vary the sizes. So I'm going to go the big ones right in this little knob here that I think was born for a gemstone. And if you've got some little ones left, you might want to add more of those. But I think that looks great, if I do say so myself. And hopefully yours looks great too. Sorry, I tried to take you off road there for a second. And now if you want to go back and add some bling, like you could add some bling to this if you want. Although I just sometimes, that whole less is more. You could save your extra pearls for something else. Let's see. And that's it. That is all she wrote. And it is 8 on the dot. And now it's time for us to give away, or time for me to give away $10 off your next order. So that way, if you need some precision point adhesive or a tape runner refill, then you can use, if you win, you can use it for that. All right. I'll kind of leave that up there. Might be able to hear me. Can you still hear me? Where are my glasses? Can't see what I'm doing. All right, so that's a wrap for tonight's cards. I would love for you to post them. You can tag Daytona Area Scrapbooking. That would be awesome. Or you can share them to the page, or just put them in the. Oh, thanks, Katie. Or put them in the comments for this video, so that everyone can see what you did. Especially, I love, those of you that are off-road. It's fun to see what you did. So now let me go ahead. Let's do the drawing. Just a second. Let's share that screen here. All right. Oh, I'm so glad that you ladies that were new tonight and joining us enjoyed yourself. All right, let's see who the lucky winner is. Oh, Faith, congrats. So Faith gets $10 off her next order. And Deb, both in the chat. I should have. Yep, I see. Faith, yep. Congratulations. All right, they're both in the chat. They both said yay. And thank you all for purchasing your card kit this month. If you didn't purchase it and you liked what you saw here tonight and you were just hanging out, I do have 3 kits left. So you can hop on over to DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.com and you can click on tonight on the card class and you can purchase one of the last 3 kits. I try to make a couple extra, so I do have a couple extra of them. If you just really liked them, maybe you wanted a second kit, then they are available. So thank you all for joining me. Don't forget all of the fun upcoming things. You got to sign up for the page class. You got to sign up for the God Moments Bible study if you want. And what else? So many things. Oh, and don't forget Project Recipe next week. So until I see you all again, stay scrappy, my friends. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.